Hey everyone. First of all, welcome to the channel. Welcome to what I have been doing here for the last little bit. I'm going to give this just a couple of minutes while people start to come in. And of course, while you're coming in, please give me a shout out hello and let me know that you're here and that you're watching. Hello, Amanda. Tonight, I wanted to do something just a little bit different. So many of you that already know me know that I have been a top clairvoyant for many, many, many years. I'm also a coach and I do a lot of work in my coaching side of my business. And the reason really that I got so big into coaching and stuff. I mean, I'm a therapist and I do all types of different, treatments and all that kind of stuff. But the reason that I really got into coaching is because, we really do struggle. There's so much stuff out there about the law of attraction. And just really quickly, hello, Julie. Hello, Trina. Hello, Stacy. Hello, Wendy. Hello, Amanda. Love you all so much. There's so much out there about the law of attraction and how you attract things and how you make things happen. And there's so many things that we all want to achieve in our life. And one of my biggest goals in my career is to help people be able to do that. And so I have decided, and again, I want everyone to try to be as patient as possible, if you can be, because the streaming world is crazy right now with everyone being at home. There's so many wonderful people that are participating and doing live streaming and doing all of that. Hello, Rex, I love you. And Terry, hello. There's so many people that are trying to do so much to help everybody's energy and everybody's spirits right now that, sometimes you get bumped in and bumped out. And this kind of thing's just going to happen. Just a little quick note that if you enjoy the live sessions that we're doing, please subscribe my YouTube channel, get notification of whenever I'm going to do them. Before we get started on tonight's session, I will tell you that I thought I'd throw a post today about who might like to learn about cartomancy and tarot cards for free online. And as it turns out, the response was huge. So I am definitely in the next week here going to be putting something together where I'll be teaching live either tarot cards or cartomancy. I haven't decided which. Hello, Verna. It's so wonderful to see you. So one of the first things that I want to discuss before I actually bring my guest on today, who is going to be a client of mine, who's going to talk about her story and what's going on in her world, and I'm going to help her come up with some solutions that may be beneficial to all of you while you're sitting out there. Before I bring this person on, it's so important for you to, first of all, be able to understand that what you perceive, how you perceive, what you perceive things to be turns into what you believe. And we all know that what you believe, you achieve. So one of the things that I do a lot in my coaching and in my work is I shift the perception. And by shifting the perception, we of course shift the outcome, because we shift the belief and then we shift what's going on. So I'm going to be talking about some stuff with all of that. And, I'm really noticing it's been making me very sad. And I'm going to apologize to everybody in advance because I am tired today. I've been working all week and, certainly not even close to as tired as all those people working on the front line that I just can't thank you enough for. But I've been noticing a lot recently, so much nastiness that I don't think I noticed as much before. And maybe I just didn't notice because I just don't understand it. But I think now is such an important time for us to all just be giving and loving and kind and helpful. I mean, again, I see a lot of love too. Don't misunderstand me. I see a lot of people being helpful and wonderful, and that's so great. We just need so much more of that. The energy is what's going to shift all this and what's going to get us all, back to work and back to living and being able to sort of thrive instead of just survive, because so many people are in survival mode right now. Just a really quick on the other side. Hello, my Phoenix warrior, who, just for those of you that know, is actually a student of mine who now has a YouTube channel. I'm so proud of her. Hello, Tammy Lang, Barbara, Helen. Thank you so much for thanking me. Just really quick. She's like, hi, thank you for tonight. In case I forget to tell you later, I had a fantastic time. Well done, pretty woman. Well done, I must say. Hello, Anthony, my brother. Hello, Josie. So please feel free to jump in and say hello. While I'm working with Wendy this evening and talking to her, you're welcome to try to ask me some questions here over on the side. If I can answer them, or, you want to share a little bit about what's going on in your life and I can give you some tips and tools of how to sort of make things easier, I'm more than happy to do that. So just really quickly, I'm going to bring Wendy in and let's see what we can do and do some coaching tonight. I really hope you guys enjoy this. Hi, beautiful. So I'm just going to
Hello.
let you know in advance you're live. How you doing?
Not too bad.
Good. You want to do me a favor and just give a quick introduction for everybody that's watching, just who you are and what made you decide to reach out to me and see if maybe you might be one of the ones that I would talk to?
Well, my name's Wendy Simpson. I'm not working at the moment. I live in Irricana with my husband and now my mother.
Mom, yeah.
Yeah. I've been diagnosed with diabetes 3 years ago,
Okay.
and I had a kidney stone block my kidney in 2018,
Okay.
and it blocked it for 4 months.
Jesus, Murphy.
And by the time they got me into the operating room, I had lost function in my kidney down to only 23% now.
Okay.
And then in 2018, my mom shattered her knee.
Okay.
And so my brother moved in with her to look after her.
Okay.
And then in April of 2019, I was diagnosed with osteoporosis in my spine.
Okay.
And then in June, my mom breaks her hip. After 3 months in care, she comes home, and not being home 4 days, my brother passes away in the house. So my mom found him the next morning. So on top of everything that we had to deal with, it's a little much.
No kidding. Talk about an overload.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus, sweetheart.
Yeah. So then, then my mom can't live alone. So she had to move in with me. So I had to go through all my brother's stuff and all my mom's stuff.
Right.
And then move her to my place. And yeah, it's been quite a
hard road.
Yes.
Quite a hard road. Feels like you're swimming upstream full time.
She just come with had to have a full knee replacement. Right. So I was caregiving her for a week, and then I ended up back in hospital with another stone blocking my kidney.
Right. And I'm just going to assume that's mom coming in behind you, is it? I can see her, and there's this little stubborn personality. How you doing, Mom? How's the walking going?
Oh, it's coming slow but sure.
Right? You just one step at a time, Mom. One step at a time.
You're
right? Yeah. Okay, so there's been a lot going on, and really what's been going on has a lot to do with your health. And then, of course, we got to add on top of that the loss. And like I had said in my last podcast, where devastation or trauma really is when a parent's got to bury a child, not when a child's got to bury a parent, right? So my heart is just breaking for your mom, because I don't care how long we've been around. I'm a mom, right? The worst thing we have to do is bury one of our children, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And then on top of that, then have to move away from everything that and come and live with your other daughter, right? And then try to get yourself established, and then go through all that health stuff on top of everything that's going on with you. So there's been a lot going on.
Yeah, because I've only been out of hospital 3 days now, and due to the virus, they're not accepting any patients to be operated on unless it's a life or death situation. So they give me a tube in my kidney and said, well, we'll see in a couple months. I'm like, oh, I can't do this for a couple months.
Couple of months.
So, I mean,
So that's what they're thinking now, is that it's going to take a couple of months till you can get into surgery. Is that what they're at?
But the hospital put in I'm on an emergency waiting list to get in right away.
Right. So if there's an opportunity, they call you, you get your ass in, and off you go.
Yeah.
Right. And then have to start the recovery while taking care of your mom and dealing with everything going on with your husband and making sure that everything's functioning at home.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay. So the first thing that I'd love everybody to understand is that it's always worse for other people. I mean, this is such an important thing. When you think you got things going hard in your world, it's a really great reminder to be able to look at someone else's and go, okay, you know what? Yeah. All right. Somebody's having it a little more difficult. Right.
Yeah.
And I just really want to stop, and I've never shared this with anybody, but Irricana is actually one of my favorite towns. My husband and I almost bought a house out there.
Yeah.
Years ago, before we bought our house in Airdrie. I fell in love with this house in Irricana. So I'm constantly, obviously not during COVID, but I'm driving through Irricana all the time. I love Irricana. It's such a great little town. Love Irricana. So before all of this sort of happens, before everything, for lack of better terms, hit the fan, kind of stuff was going on in your world?
Well, I've pretty much been at home for the last few years. I haven't really had any employment or anything,
Okay.
but I was looking and hoping,
Okay.
and then
Yeah. And then everything sort of went downhill.
Yeah.
So financially, things are really tight for the family. Do I have that correct?
Yes, it's just my husband that's taking care of everything, and
Right. Right. And he's not the easiest man to communicate with, is he?
yeah, he is.
Really? Because he feels like a little bit of a smart aleck, but he doesn't talk a lot when it has stuff to do with what's
No, actually,
going on.
You're right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like,
yes,
don't misunderstand me. I think I'd be totally
Yeah.
amused in a conversation with him as long as I didn't have to talk about anything important. Because as soon as I'd have to talk about anything important, I'd be like banging my head. Like, okay, can we try this again? Like,
Yep.
let's just try that again, right?
Yeah.
So, and the reason that that's sort of popping up for me is because I feel like, don't misunderstand me. I believe your husband loves you. I believe you love him. I don't mean any of that, but I feel like you spend a lot of your time sort of feeling like you're in this storm alone and you don't want to add anything else to the mix, right?
You're so right, because when I cry alone.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, he's one who we just lost his dad too, and
Right.
he shows no emotion. I think when he's alone in his room is when he deals with it, but he really it comes across as a strong one. But I'm like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
I hate to show that side because he doesn't like to see me cry, so I cry alone.
Well, and you feel like he's taking care of enough, right? Like the other downfall that we have, is, even though you're doing lots, don't misunderstand me, because I have no doubt that you, but you're feeling like because you're not helping provide into what's going on to the family, that you've put enough on his plate, you can't really add anything more to the mix.
Exactly.
Right?
Totally.
And I think your mom's beautiful, but it's not like we can put a lot of pressure on her either. So it sort of all just gets left right on Wendy's shoulders. Do I have that right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So what would if anything could sort of get easier in your life, if anything could sort of be easier to handle, what would you like to focus on? What would you like to focus on sort of making run smoother?
I would like to have an income of something.
Right.
Like you said, he's carrying it all himself. And every time I try and get out to try and get some kind of work, something just knocks me back down.
Right. What was the work you used to do, sweetheart? Long time ago.
I used to deal blackjack in the casino for 10 years.
No wonder I picked you. No wonder I picked you.
Yeah, 10 years at the Stampede Casino in the Big Four.
Really? So it's now Cowboys Casino, which happens to be my favorite casino, just FYI. That's where I play poker. So yeah, see, that's why I picked you. It's not, I actually, the truth is, just that all of you guys understand, and I have no idea how it transpired, but I was laying in bed when your post came to me last night. And I don't have any idea really what all happened, but man, your brother got pushy. So I was like, okay, looks like I'm working with Wendy tomorrow. Because he was pretty pushy. He was like, she needs you, as he's tapping on my shoulder, right? And I actually looked over at my husband, who was playing virtual, and he's like, I'm looking at my husband, I'm like, leave me alone. And he says a little virtual, that's not my husband. Okay, I'm going to talk to Wendy, right? So we're definitely going to try to do some stuff like that. Tell me just a little bit, honey, just so I can get a grasp. What kind of stuff do you enjoy? What kind of stuff do you like? What kind of stuff motivates you or moves you?
I am crafty. I do all the kinds of crafts.
What kind of crafts?
Actually, lots. I crochet. I do quilling, which is with the paper.
Okay.
Do,
and it's called quilling?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I usually go in. My friend of mine has a craft store, so I usually put stuff in there and stuff like that. But I fix.
And has any of it been selling?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. Nice.
I like to fix my own car.
Really?
I cut hair. There's so many things that I do. It's like, why am I not rich already?
Right. Yeah,
so many things, and it's like,
I totally get that.
It doesn't seem to go anywhere.
Right.
But
if you could have your sort of ideal world where, if I was genie in a bottle and I could grant you one wish, and that would be about, so we'll take them sort of step by step. The first wish I could grant you is about your career, and you could have your dream life as a career. What would it be?
Oh my goodness.
Right? Makes you think about it, doesn't it?
Well, you know, they did. Jack Carter's wanted to apprentice me as a mechanic.
Really?
I didn't want to learn electrical because I don't want to get a shock.
Okay.
It sounds funny, you know.
Yeah.
But fixing and taking things apart, don't tell me it's broken because then I want to fix it.
Right. Okay.
You know?
Okay.
So something in it would be to make stuff. Like I make cakes, I make everything. Something crafty with my hands. If I had my own shop, or you know, where I could sell all my stuff that I make, or I mean, and I like to help people too. So I mean, I did want to take nursing at one time, but because I was single and I had a baby, they were like, you know, that's a lot of work to put in for a single mom. So
you bet. Okay, now with your kidney stuff that's going on, you can still do your crafting, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you can still do your crocheting, you can still do all of that.
Yeah.
Do I have that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So just give me a second here because I'm going to ask a couple of questions again in just a second, but just see, a lot of times we get really sort of stuck in where we are. And we can't think outside of the box, right? And that's one of the biggest struggles that we have, is that we can't figure out how to think outside of the box, you know? So tell me if this is correct, but you know, what it feels for me is that for you, you just want to get healthy so you can go back to work, because that's sort of all you can think about in your head, right? Is if I can get my health stuff corrected, then I can go get a job and I can go back to work and then I can help support the family, right? I have a few issues with that as a clairvoyant and as a coach, because let's just say we get you all healthy and we get you to go get a job. Okay. The few issues that I have is, how do we help mom while you're at work, working like crazy? And how do we make sure everything's running at home and being taken care of at home? And even more importantly, how do we keep your health going while we get you back to work? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I really think that we would like to change the perception, because in your head right now, it's, I got to get all this health taken care of. I gotta do all this stuff. And then I got to get out there and I got to help because, you know, my husband and I need to have more money and I got to go out and get a job.
And he said he would like to help. But I mean, I just turned 60, like 3 days before my brother passed. Right. So it wasn't a big.
Well, this is where I want to change the perception, sweetheart, because frankly, I don't think going back to work's an option. As a matter of fact, I think you keep having things happen to you for you to not have to go back to work. Like, I think we're just not listening to the correct message here. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I actually think the message that's sort of being banged into your head, just FYI, from the universe is, you are not going back to work, girlfriend. Not going back to a job. Okay. So we need to start making that shift. We need to change the conversation in our head from, how can I get healthy to go back to work, to how can I start to help and how can I manifest there being more money coming in? Right. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things that I teach my clients that do coaching with me all the time is, opportunities are everywhere. And we don't want to, you know, for lack of better terms, roadblock the universe from bringing in opportunities, because at the end of the day, Wendy, we don't actually care. Okay. When it's all said and done, we as human beings don't really care if we win a lottery and that's how the money comes in. An inheritance from a lost distant family we didn't know died, has all this money and it took them years to find us and track us down, and money gets put into our bank account. Do you see what I'm saying? We don't care where it's coming from. We just know that we need it.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then we throw these roadblocks up because we keep telling ourselves how we're going to get it. Okay.
Right.
And so that's one of the problems that we're having, is that in your head, you keep telling yourself that you have to get healthy to go get a job. Okay. But on a soul level, on an energy level, on an emotional level, you also got to be honest, because you don't want to and shouldn't go back to work. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. It doesn't mean you can't do things beautiful, because you can. It just means the first thing that we've got to do is accept there's not going back to work. Okay. That's not the A plan. Does that make sense to you? Let's take it off the equation, because it's actually not the A plan.
Right.
Okay. And I will tell you that because you've always been such a creative person and you've always been such a creative soul and you've always loved to dabble, okay, that really you should have never been somebody that worked at a job anyway. And if you'd have been able to, years ago, work on your worth, your belief in yourself and your ability to attract, you'd already be successful at home in a little self-made business here, doing everything that you love, making all kinds of money, and your husband could be at home too.
Yeah.
Right. But you didn't give yourself the credit. You didn't give yourself the belief. You didn't have the tools to know how to do that. Okay. What you had was surviving as a single mom, getting in, finding the right relationship so that you didn't have to be single all the time, feeling like you weren't just like that survival mode. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's what you spent your whole life doing, is that survival mode.
Yeah, and I've been married now for 37 years, so.
Yeah, for sure. But even then, you got to understand, I mean, I've been blissfully married for 2 decades so far, and I still have moments where, I'm still the former abused wife that was the single mom that tried to figure out or had to figure out how to do my stuff. Right? So it's been a lot of years. It's not like your husband's new or anything, but we still have all of that processing in our head. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
So we need to change the perception. So there's a couple things that we need to do. The first thing that we need to do is we need to change the conversation. Okay. Because tell me if I'm wrong. The conversation that you've been having is, I need to get back to work.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
It is. Yes. I need something.
Right. It's time to change that conversation. Okay. We need to actually stop that dialogue completely. We do not need to go back to work. As a matter of fact, our life has set itself up. If we can't read between the lines, it has set itself up that going back to work is actually not going to happen. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. I need to be able to create some income. That's what I need to do.
Right.
Okay. I need money to come into the house outside of what my husband is making.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, it might sound crazy to a lot of people, but just by shifting that thought pattern, we actually take the blinders off. So the problem that we have with perception and the problem that we have with the stories that we tell ourselves is, as we're telling ourselves those stories, we stick these blinders on. Like, the elderly that have the sunglasses that got the shades on the side, you can't see anything anywhere around you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you can't see the forest for the trees, which means you can't see any options. Does that make sense?
Yep.
That's our first obstacle. Our second obstacle is that because you feel like you're failing your family.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because you feel like you're failing your family, there's no way for you to turn around and go, but you know what? I'm really good at my crafts and I could really have a successful business selling my crafts. Do you see what I'm saying? So when you do take stuff to that little craft store, you and it's okay to get emotional with me, beautiful. That's okay. But when you do end up taking those things to the craft store and the odd one sells, to you, it's like, well, I mean, that's nice. It's not like I could really do that. Right? Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Right? So we got to change that conversation. We've got to change that conversation, honey, because how we should be building our lives is doing things that we love. Would you like to know how I managed to become so successful that I was able to support a buttload of children and have my husband not work for a living since 2007? Do you know how I managed to do that?
I sure do.
How did I do it?
I don't know.
I did it by focusing solely on what I love. Okay. The reason that my business is successful, the reason that I'm loved by people, the reason that I'm blessed enough to be able to do radio and do TV and do all of those things is because I have solely focused on what I love. Because as much as we're here to learn and we're here to grow, we're also here to love life. Okay. And as much as blackjack dealing on a part-time basis, you can have some fun with other people. So the only person you're communicating with is not just your husband.
Yeah.
Right. As much as that can be fun on a part-time basis, right? It's not really what you love. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
So we got to shift it more to what you love, and you love crafting.
Yep.
Right?
At this point, I wished I could have invented something with all the ideas that I have, and it's just something. Even my brother, we used to sit and think, and he used to think, I could invent something. We should invent something together,
And you know what? If you'd have had the belief system in yourself, you'd have probably done it. Okay. But what we can do now is we can get you to start doing things that can generate an income and that can increase things in your life and that you can enjoy and feel like you're worthy. Does that make sense? Like you individually are worth being able to bring something to the table. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, I understand intellectually that in another couple of years, you can get the beginning part of CPP. And then after that, you can end up on CPP. But I don't know about you. I'm not living on $1,100 a month in my retirement. I can just guarantee you that.
Mine's probably 100.
Right? Like, I'm just not doing it. I don't, there may not be there when I get there, but I can guarantee you if it is,
Yeah.
I'm making money doing something else. I don't care if I got to be a Walmart greeter, which is also not an option because I just look at people and say, shut up and get out. Right? I couldn't. And that's the other thing you got to understand. The one thing that I did know about me is I could never actually work for a job. Everybody laughs at me in the poker room because I say all the time, I could never actually work for a job. And everybody's like, well, why couldn't you? I'm like, because I'd get fired.
Yeah.
Like they do all this training, right? Somebody told me I should be a poker dealer. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, because an hour at the table and you would be firing my butt so fast. I'd be barred from every poker room in the world because I have a little bit of an attitude, in case you've never understood that. I have a little bit of a verbal attitude, to be honest with you. So I also had to create a business because nobody was going to keep me employed. Right? Like I wouldn't put up with me. So there's no way they would have. Right. So we've got to be able to start shifting that conversation in your head. Okay. Because you can have money and you can have things easier. Okay. So the very first thing that I want you to do, as crazy as this, KJ swears way too much to be a Walmart greeter. That is without a doubt the absolute truth. That is without a doubt. It would be so bad. I actually have to be really careful because we're on YouTube. So I have this big sign that says I'm not allowed to swear. So we have to change the conversation in your head. Okay. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to start changing what you're saying to yourself on a daily basis. Okay. So this is the first step that I want you to take. Okay. The first step that I want you to take is every day, when you get up in the morning, I want you to say to yourself, I love doing crafts and I am good at it. Okay. Let's start focusing on what you love, not what you don't. Okay. Your world for a long time now has been surrounded about what you don't love. You don't love health issues. You don't, as much as you love your mom, you don't love that your mom has to live in your house. I don't think your mom loves it either, to be totally honest with you. Like, I'm not judging. I am not judging. But if my mother had to live in my house, I would, I don't know that there's enough drugs for us to pull that off. I'm not going to lie to you. And I love my mother. Okay. My kids keep telling me they'd let me live with them, but frankly, I'm sure they'd feed me green Jello and leave me outside. I don't think they could handle me having to live with them. So nobody enjoys that. Okay.
Did you take your pills? Did you get some sleep? You need to go to bed. I'm like, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? I'm sick.
I feel like, did I put cyanide in your food? Possibly. It might have happened. I wouldn't mean to. It would just be so bad. Okay. And I don't know about you, but I'm not dead. So I'd like to be able to walk around my house naked, have a good time. It's the reason I kicked out my kids. I don't want to live with my mother. I don't want to live with my kids. Right.
Yeah.
Like,
there goes that. And when my brother said to me, and he swore at her, and I said, Larry, don't swear at mom like that. And he goes, you don't know her. You don't live with her. And then now I'm going, oh my God, Larry, I totally understand. I get it. Why'd you do this to me?
Right? What the heck were you thinking? What do you mean you had to leave? No, you should have been staying with mom. Totally understand. So we need to actually bring something into your life that excites you.
Yes.
Okay. And we need to start shifting the conversation that I really do love that, because right now, every conversation going on in your world is what I don't have, what I can't handle, what I can't do, what I don't enjoy. Okay. So then what are we attracting, beautiful?
Yeah, negative.
Right? If all we're talking about to ourselves and around us is what isn't working, then all we're saying to the universe is, I'd really like more crap set on my plate. I mean, that would just be brilliant because it's not quite full enough. Right?
Right.
So we need to change that conversation. We need to change that conversation into, it doesn't matter what's going on in my health. I love crafts. I love making things.
You said that, it doesn't click that you're being negative when you're saying
changes it.
And and so you don't really think about it when you say, oh, I don't, I can't handle this and I can't do that. And it's all just kind of like, oh, okay, you can't.
And you don't actually realize that's what you're doing. That's the one thing that I've discovered with so many of my coaching clients. I'll say something to them and be like, I don't do that. I'm like, just give me a second. I'm just going to retract here. Okay. I'm just going to rewind the information we have and I'm just going to show this to you. And by the time I'm done, they're like, ew. I'm like, right. Like, it's just the reality. It's just the reality. It's the same thing when I'm talking to everybody out there about the whole COVID stuff. Energy is everything. If you're scared you're going to get it, then you're attracting more infections. And I'm not saying that it's anybody's fault. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not even blaming you for being in a negative space. Life has fallen apart, right? So there's a sense of responsibility and there's a sense of an understanding. And then there's a sense of enough is enough. Yes, it's fallen apart. And yet, right? Yes, it's fallen apart. And you know what? Yes, this is the accountability aspect. I have allowed myself to get deeper under. And that's going to stop now because I choose to stop it. I am deciding that this isn't how I want it to go. And I'm choosing to focus on what I do enjoy. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So the first thing you're going to do every day to yourself is say, I love crafts and I'm good at it. I love making things for people to have.
Yeah.
Because that's the reality. You love making things for people to have.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then there's two other things I want you to do. When you get up in the morning, which takes us time to do. So, I mean, when you open your eyes, I want you to decide how your day is going to go. Okay. I'm going to be happy today. Okay. I'm going to not let what's going on with my mom stress me out. I'm going to be open to the opportunities that are around me. I don't care what you use. I'm not telling you these are the things that you have to use, sweetheart. I'm telling you that it's time to decide how you're going to feel every day.
Right.
Okay. Because when we achieve things because we decided to achieve them. Not because we wanted to achieve them. Okay. I deal with people every day that tell me what they want. It's not until we decide that we start to achieve
with
them.
The pain in my back with this tube there, I don't want to sit around. I don't want to, if it aches a little bit, I want to get out and walk and get out and, be outside and
absolutely.
And it's like, I can't just sit here. I just can't.
And that's where we choose differently, right? So when you're deciding in the morning and you're saying to yourself, I'm deciding how I'm going to feel today. And you say to yourself, if getting outside today only means I get to go stand at the front for a few minutes, I'm doing it. Okay. I'm deciding that I'm getting some fresh air today. I'm deciding that I'm going to have a smile on my face today. I'm deciding that I'm going to see everything that's good today. And I'm not going to be frustrated.
I know. I went to the store because, I got diabetes and I can't have ice cream. And damn it, I want ice cream today. So I said, I'm going to the store. They're like, oh, no, don't go to the store. You can't go. Yeah, I can go. And I'm going.
Watch me.
I went.
Watch me toddle on over to do it.
Getting in and out of the car, but still,
But we do get to choose, sweetheart. It's amazing what we can do when we decide to choose, right? The kidney situation, it's not going to go away. It's gotten from bad to worse. So that's the other thing we have to look at because it's not just, sweetheart, even with the surgery in the kidneys and it all being improved, which is going to take some time. You have diabetes, you have arthritis. Frankly, to be completely honest with you, clairvoyantly, I believe that you've suffered physical depression for probably the last 35, 45 years. So I actually think you have symptoms of fibromyalgia. And I'm going to tell you what makes me think that. You've got thinning going on in your hair. You've got dry going on in your hair. We've got some issues going on in your teeth and your jaw. Those are all signs of fibromyalgia, which is physical depression and extreme muscle aches and pains. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
So I got to tell you, sweetheart, even if God, Kermit the Frog himself, came down, took his little wand and gave you a brand new kidney, you're not going back to work.
Right.
There is too much stuff going on.
Right.
Okay. So we need to do something else. Does that make sense? And we need to start doing something else by saying other things. Right?
Yeah.
Because opportunities are everywhere. And I'm going to come back to this opportunities are everywhere thing for a second. What kind of vehicle do you drive, sweetheart?
Dodge Caravan.
Okay. Before you bought your Dodge Caravan.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you notice? Before you bought your Dodge Caravan, you might have seen one every once in a while. But then after you got your Dodge Caravan, it's like that particular day, I swear to God, that particular day, everybody and their dog decided they needed a Caravan the exact same year, make, color, everything. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, my last vehicle was a Dodge Caravan. I've had 3 of them.
So I'm talking the first time you bought one.
Only because I can work on them.
Right, so but I'm talking about the first time you bought one. Before that, you barely seen them. Okay. Once you buy one, they are freaking everywhere. I got to okay, so I'm just sharing this with you, just fun information for everybody. I got a Nissan Murano, a year and a half ago, and I swear to God, I can't be in a parking lot. Mine's black. I can't even go into a parking lot with, by the time I come out, which obviously is not very often right now, but by the time I come out, there is 4 black Muranos.
Yep.
Parked in my little corner. Right? Yeah. Like there's literally an entire parking lot and it's like they all attract each other. Okay.
Yeah, I went in the wrong van. I swear to God, I thought it was.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Okay.
Somebody was sitting there and like, wait, oh, sorry.
Right. Now I'm using this as an example because it comes back to that blinder thing. Okay. I never even knew what a Murano looked like till I went vehicle shopping to go get a new vehicle. I seen this car and I'm like, hey, that's kind of hot. Like, what is that? And my husband looked at me in the car. He's like, I don't know. What is that? I'm like, well, let's go find out, shall we? We pull into the lot. It's a Nissan Murano. I'm like, that sucker's pretty, right? My husband doesn't get out much, so he was really excited about the whole UFO-looking interior, but that's a total different story. So anyways, after I go buy it, I see it everywhere, right? At one point, I turned to my husband. I'm like, did everybody decide this was the year to own a Murano? Like, I am so confused. And it's because our blinders are on. You don't notice anything in your peripheral vision until it becomes present. Okay. So until it's in our vision, we don't notice it around us.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
I get it. Yep.
So by changing these conversations, okay, by no longer saying to ourselves, I need to go back to work, by starting to say to ourselves, I love crafting, I love doing crafts, and I love people getting them. Okay. By deciding how our day is going to go, we're changing our vision.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're also opening the door for the universe to start bringing us what we actually require.
Okay.
Because our needs will always be met. So what I want to do today is I want to up your needs. That's what I want to do is I want to shift and increase your needs. Okay. Because for you at this stage in your life, my beautiful girl, your need is to be able to get the hell out of bed every day. Okay. Your need is to not want to harm your mom who's living with you. Your need is to be able to tolerate your husband, and your need is to be able to financially keep the roof over your head and food in the fridge.
Yeah.
Okay. My needs are a little different. So I'm just going to explain this to you. My needs are granite countertops. My needs are a really big bathtub for me to soak in. My needs were a swimming pool. My needs are no less than $60,000 vehicle. Okay. My needs are a brand new vehicle every 4 years. And at this point, people are going to be listening to this going, wow, somebody thinks she's a princess. I actually do believe that I am a princess, and I am well aware that I am high maintenance. Okay. But these are my needs. They're my comforts, and that makes them my needs. Okay. My needs are an entire wall of yarn. I actually need a yarn room, to be truthful. Okay. Because I'm a crocheter. I'm with you.
Nice.
I am a crocheter. I totally understand it. So my need is an entire yarn wall. Whether I decide to crochet every day for the next 6 months or I decide to not touch a piece of that yarn, there's better be room. Because when I go into a store and I see yarn I like, I'm buying 50.
Oh, that's so me.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those are my needs. Okay. My needs are really nice clothes. My needs are my nails being done every 3 weeks. My needs are, being able to, Stacey Noble just went swimming pool in Calgary. So I used to do, I have a radio show in Virgin Montreal in Montreal. And the first time I told Freeway and Natasha that I had a swimming pool in my backyard, they're all like, in Calgary? I'm like, well, technically Airdrie, but yeah. Everybody thinks I'm on crack. I needed a swimming pool. I just needed it. The weather might be nice one day and I needed a damn pool, right? I don't judge your needs. Don't judge mine. Anyway, my needs are just different than yours. And so because they're my needs, they are always met. Okay. My need is a $20,000 a month income. That's my need. It's not my want, Wendy. That's my need.
Right.
Okay. And because it's my need, I have reached my need and superseded my need every month of my career for 32 years.
Wow.
Okay.
Awesome.
Now understand this. I have times that I literally meet my needs by the 5th of the month. The rest of the month, I'm looking at Brian going, oh my God, I got to have my needs. Like there's still 25 days left in the month. And I already reached my quota. I don't even know what to do with myself. And he's looking at me. He's like, oh, Puddin'. It's a real rough day in the neighborhood, isn't it? My needs have to be met. Okay. My needs have to be met because I believe in them. If you're paying attention to your life at all, you're discovering your needs are met too. Every single one of them. Okay. You're just not raising your needs to the right vibration.
Right.
You're basicing your needs. Does that make sense to you?
Today.
What was that?
I said it's going to change today.
That's my girl. It needs to change today. It needs to change today. And we need to live by the belief system that we don't actually care how our needs are met. That's the other thing that's really important because we get in our own way. Okay. I don't care how my needs are met. I can give you just a few examples so you can understand in the law of attraction. I can give you some examples of needs. Okay. So years ago, I needed to open a new age store. I'm not even sure why I needed to open a new age store. I don't necessarily like new age things, but apparently I needed to open a new age store. And so within 48 hours, and I had no money. You got to understand this. There was no money. I was raising 4 kids at that time. There was no money. So I needed a new age store within 48 hours of needing that new age store. I had a brand new location with my landlord so that I didn't have to get out of my lease. And the Canadian government called me at 8:30 in the evening and told me that they owed me $47,000, which is what I needed for the renovation to do my store. And then when I looked at 8:30 at night, they called me. They owed me 10 years worth of child tax credit. I didn't even know I was entitled to child tax credit. I was self-employed. I had no idea I was entitled. They're like, oh yeah, by the way, you get this. It'll be in your account in 2 days. I'm like, shut the front door. It was after I signed the new lease for my new location and my husband's looking at me going, how are we supposed to renovate this? I'm like, it's about to get interesting. I'm just saying, right? In 48 hours, I attracted all of that. And then a day before I opened my store with no stock whatsoever, somebody walked through my door who I had known years previously, looked at me and said, is there any chance you have any room for some stock? Because I have this tiny little new age store at the flea market and I've got like $100,000 worth of extra stock. And it was the morning before that I told my husband I needed like $100,000 worth of stock to just appear. So the day I opened, I had $100,000 worth of stock in my store. I had a full store. It was all taken care of. And I started it all with no money.
Wow.
Because your needs will always be met, beautiful.
Wow.
Okay. We just need to change your needs. Right now, you're thankful there's food on the table.
I know.
Right? And don't misunderstand me. We need to be thankful for everything that we have. Being thankful and being grateful is so unbelievably important. But we got to up your needs. Okay. And I'm not telling you that tomorrow you up your needs to I need $20,000 a month because you don't know how to do that. Okay. I'm telling you, we got to up your needs. Okay. So let's start by taking it slow. We need another $1,000 a month coming into this house.
Yes.
Does that sound about right to you?
Yeah.
Because I feel like $1,000 a month right now would make all the difference in the world.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Cool. So now that we know what we need to open up the opportunities. So we know what we need, which is another $1,000 a month. And we know that you're never going back to work and you love to craft.
Right.
Okay. And we're telling ourselves so that we can get there that you're good at it. You on my page so far?
I'm good at it.
Exactly. So tomorrow I want you to go to Etsy and open a shop, which is online. You got a computer because you're with me.
Yeah.
Okay. Have computer. We'll sell crap. It's a great thing about a computer. So you're going to go to Etsy online. Okay. You're going to start creating on your Facebook channel page that you have crafts.
Okay. I do have a page on my Facebook, but I'm don't know how to handle it. I've got it up there and people can go there, but I don't have a link because I don't know how to do any of that. But.
So let's not even make it that complicated. Okay. Let's put it on your normal Facebook because people know you there. Let's start chatting about the fact that you make things. Let's start chatting about the fact that you would do custom baby blankets. You'll do custom anything that you craft. I don't care what it is. But if I don't see it on the next 3 days, you're not listening to me and I'm going to kick your ass.
Okay.
Okay. Start posting. I love to do custom work. This is what I'm making right now. You are welcome to go to my Etsy page. Okay. Take an afternoon, do some investigating, find out what people are charging for those things.
Right.
Okay. You can do more than one thing on your Etsy page. Let me just look here. Or even maybe craft kits to kids with instructions and kits how to do it for kindergartens to grade 4. Absolutely. You can do instructional videos on YouTube, but we got to build your confidence first, sweetheart. I want to fix things in a sort of, short period of time. I agree with what's being said over there. We could absolutely build you to the point that you're doing instructional videos, you're teaching crafts. Have you ever heard of like MGM or can't remember her name, but it's like Off the Hook. And she's so it's this woman, beautiful. I buy her freaking patterns all the time. I make all of her stuff. I buy all of her patterns. M Off the Hook something. Anyway, she started on Facebook. Okay. She's a mom. She's an at-home mom. She freaking crochets. The woman makes more money than I do. Between her YouTube channel, her Facebook, her Instagram, the woman makes more money than I do. I can't tell you how many times I've looked at her and went, well, Jesus, maybe I should start actually doing, maybe I don't need to fix people's lives. I'll just start crocheting every day, all day. The woman makes hands down more money than I do. Okay. Wow. My brand new grandson was coming into this world. And before he got here, his mom's looking at me and he's like, Mom, you got it. Cause we bought her the crib and everything for my grandson. So she's like, you got to look at this blanket. You got to look at this blanket. I'm like, where the hell did you get this blanket? She had it all custom made. There's a woman on Facebook that is literally making way more money than I'm making like quilting. She's quilting. I am watching women make money sparkling to-go cups, for the love of God. Okay. You can make money doing anything. This is 2020.
And that's the thing, is there's so many things to make and so many things out there. Why have I got this block on?
Because you don't believe in you. Because you don't believe in you, sweetheart. Because you've been telling yourself for years that the only way you're going to make more money is if you're healthy enough to have a job.
Yep.
A job isn't an option right now. You have to be there for your mom.
I do.
Let's just leave it at that. It's not an option. So it's time to start thinking out of the craft box.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Do you see how I'm saying that?
Yep.
Okay. Heck, when you start feeling better, I can get you to make YouTube channels showing women how to basically deal with their vehicles. You'd be amazed at what kind of money a person could make doing that.
Yeah.
Basic essentials for women, single moms, people out there with limited incomes that can't afford and don't want some man to check their oil. Because I am old. Not quite as old as some people, but I'm old. I'm a grandma. And I still have to have my husband come down and check my oil.
Oh.
See what I'm saying? There's ways to make money doing anything and everything. Step yourself out of the box.
Right.
Okay. Start seeing that there's a way bigger picture.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And because you love it, talk about it. Because you love doing it, talk about it. See, I have Amanda is just a prime example, and she's a single woman. Beautiful girl. She's a student of mine. I absolutely love her. She just bought her own first house after years. Just congratulations, Amanda. But anyways, she's like, I can't even fill the windshield washer fluid and scared to inflate the tires. Always needed help with that stuff, right? At some point down the road, once your confidence is better and everything's working great for you, you could absolutely create a YouTube channel doing that, honey. There is no limitation. Okay. If a 17-year-old punk ass video gaming little brat who is adorable can make millions of dollars on a Twitch channel, you can sell your crafts.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay.
I never thought of doing teaching them or showing them.
It's a brilliant idea.
I didn't think of it, I guess.
How many people love what I'm coming up here teaching stuff? Why couldn't you teach? Here's some tricks. Here's some stuff, right? Get yourself out of the thinking box. You keep telling yourself what isn't, not what is.
Okay. Yep.
Right? And you've got a huge advantage, sweetheart. You've got a huge advantage that you're not paying attention to because Larry is on the other side. And frankly, that little guy, he owes you. Okay? If it wasn't for him, Mom wouldn't be living with you right now. So he owes you some assistance. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So when you're asking for things, that's the other thing that's such an important thing to learn. When you're asking for things, when you're asking the universe for help, ask Larry. He has no more limitations, sweetheart. He's no longer limited by a bank account, by where he is, by his emotions, he is no longer limited. He is now there to do your bidding. He's now there to bring to you whatever you need. So start asking him, because you keep telling yourself how alone you are right now. You keep telling yourself how much you miss him and how you feel like it's all on your shoulders. Talk to him every day, honey. Ask him to help you. Ask him to make things calmer with mom. Ask him to help you bring in an income. Ask him to help people recognize you on Facebook, YouTube, wherever they can possibly recognize you. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
Ask him to help you believe in you. Let's see what's going on here. My house is from my nana and granddad. I asked for it as I needed it for me and my cats, and it's from them, and it's from them to me. 5 weeks to closing day, and I know that it's from them. I'm actually gonna share this one for you because it's such a prime example. Amanda, this particular person who's telling you she doesn't even know how to do windshields, she got an eviction notice after being in her house. She runs a day home.
Right.
And she'd rented this house for a long time. And I'm not trying to share everybody all your information, sweetheart. I'm just giving the sort of recap, because the owner had nothing to do with Amanda. She just really needed to sell her house. After all these years, it was just really time to sell the house. Right. And so for Amanda, she had no choice, because to be able to be in a rental and run a day home is tough to do. Right. So she managed to manifest buying her own property to keep her day home open.
Oh, wow.
Single woman, her own business, self-employed. Do you know how hard it is to qualify for a mortgage when a person is self-employed? No one can tell us this isn't a possibility. We just simply change the perception in our head, because what you perceive turns into what you believe, and what you believe, you achieve. So change the conversations. Okay. Start bringing up the energy.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So start moving these things forward and watch how it starts to improve. And it's not just that you'll start selling crafts, sweetheart. Okay. We're not just limiting to crafts. We're saying we need an extra $1,000 a month in this house. It's a need. Okay. And we're going to start doing custom crafts, and we're going to start selling stuff in the craft store, and we're going to start doing our crafts because they're going to sell. Right. And then we'll go and let's say we got an extra $5 and we'll grab a lottery ticket that day. And who knows, maybe it'll win $5,000. So we'll go do this, or something will come out of miraculously. If we believe that it's going to come, we don't care how it gets there.
Right.
And that's the thing you got to understand. How have I reached my goal every month? I don't care how it gets here.
Right.
Coaching, classes, readings, teachings, inheritance. I find money on the street. I don't care. I don't care, honey. I've had months where I'm tired and exhausted, and I've had to cancel work a few times, and I've just been drained. And so I'll go to my poker rooms so that I can just get some reprieve for a little bit. I'll throw $200 on the table, and I'll walk out with $15,000, and poof, 2 days before the end of the month, my $20,000 goal has been made. Okay. I don't care how it happens. Okay. I've had times where I'll be sitting at the poker table and I'll be like, I need another $5,000, and I'm not going to get that off the poker table. I'll go walk over to the slot machines, walk around till I feel this desire to sit down, and 7 spins later, man, super bonus, $5,000 in your hand. No problem.
Wow.
Right. I've never actually gone to Vegas, and I go to Vegas. I've never actually gone to Vegas and not come home with more money than I left with.
Oh, wow.
Right. Because what you perceive is what you believe, and what you believe, you achieve. And I perceive and understand and know in every fiber of my being, the universe is taking care of all of it. All of it. So I just send out my order and believe it's coming through. Okay. And I also, and this is very important, you also got to remind yourself, no matter what is going on, good, Wendy, start your crafts again tomorrow. No matter what is going on. Okay. No matter what is going on in our lives, it has always been harder. We have been through worse.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Remind ourselves. It's so important to remind yourself that you've gotten through that. Get through this too. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. So in the morning, you decide how your day is going to go. Throughout the day, you tell yourself that you love doing crafts and you believe People need them, so you're going to start selling them. Start sharing the information. You don't have to be a salesperson. You don't have to be in anything. This is what I love to do. Okay. It comes through. It comes through, sweetheart. Okay. Get yourself an Etsy shop. Let's build that and do that. Now you can be at home with your health issues. Tell me how much faster your health issues are going to improve when you're feeling less pressure financially.
Right. Big time.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. And then every night when you go to bed, I want you to thank Larry and the universe, and then pick things throughout the day that you're so thankful for. Start with the little tiny things, because right now, sweetheart, what you got is little tiny things. Start with those. Okay. Ask and be thankful.
Yeah.
Such an important part of our world. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Do you feel like you can take these steps?
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel like these steps are a little exciting and it feels like there's maybe something you can do now?
Right. There is. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Good. Is there anything else you think I can help you with to start?
No, I just got a whole lot of things running through my mind now.
It's time to give yourself permission to have 1,000 things running through your mind, sweetheart. You are an inventor by nature. You are an entrepreneur by nature. It is time to start living who you really are, sweetheart. You never wanted to be the at work person. That's never what you wanted to be. So don't be.
No.
Don't be. Okay? It's just time to decide.
Yeah.
It's time to decide. It's time to no longer tell yourself what isn't working and start tell yourself what is.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does actually, very much.
I'm so glad, baby. I truly hope that this helped you. Everybody stay on, because I'm going to be open to answer some questions for you in just a second. I'm just going to finish off here with Wendy. I'm going to let you go, sweetheart, so that you can get some more rest and you can let your mind go crazy. Take those steps for me, okay? And in a week from now, I want you to tell me how it's going.
Okay.
Can you do that for me, beautiful?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing with everybody, sweetheart. I wish you an absolute fantastic evening. And I would love to see some picture of your stuff. You never know when I'm going to need something custom ordered, because I don't have time to make it.
All right, then.
All right, gorgeous.
Thank you so much.
Mwah. You take care of yourself, beautiful, okay? And get some rest tonight.
I will.
Okay. Bye, gorgeous. Hey, everyone. So I'm not done yet. I'm going to give you a few more minutes here so you can start. I'm so glad you guys are excited for Wendy. Now start sharing with me here on the side. If you have some questions, and again, they are not psychic questions. I want you to talk to me about what's going on in your world. If you have some questions and you need a little bit of help, okay? Life is not nearly as complicated as we make it to be. There are so many things that we can do. There are so many options that we have. We get so focused and so intense and so overwhelmed by what isn't working that we end up losing the conversation. Okay. We end up, taking away from what it is we're supposed to be building and supposed to be achieving, what we're supposed to be open to, what we're supposed to, believe that we can do. Wendy, is my new relationship the right thing for me? You know what, sweetheart? I think that you actually already know that question. I mean, I feel like you guys have definitely had some struggles, and I'm not sure that you necessarily picked the best time to get into the relationship, but I really like the person that you're with. I'm not going to lie. And I just think that you've sort of gotten caught up in the negative, and that's not really who you are, sweetheart. I know you, Wendy. You need to go back and you need to think about all the things that you have actually achieved in the past and start shifting that, and stop trying to fix him so much and just be in the relationship, if that makes any sense. Can you expand on ordering up, please, from Gannon? So it's very important to understand that in order to be able to order anything from the universe, you need to turn it into a need. That's the first thing that's important. And the second thing is you need to believe it's going to come. Okay. So I have people say, oh yeah, I ordered a new house from the universe. I didn't freaking get that. I ordered this. I didn't get that. You have to believe that that's what's going to be the outcome. You have to start focusing on your conversation. You have to start being able to visualize it. You have to start being able to see it, and you have to expect it, not just hope for it. And a lot of people get confused because they tell me all the time, sure, that's what I expect. No, it's what you hope. Do you know what you expect? Everything that you're getting now. That's what you expect. So I hope that helped you just a little bit. Trying to stay positive with the craziness that is happening in the world. So Stacy, I agree with you. I really do. And it's tough to do. And one of the ways that I stay very positive with everything that's going on is I come to the place of understanding, honey, that that this has to pass, and that because of where the world was in advance before all this COVID stuff happened, things have no choice but to change and to change drastically. So, I focus on how this will be good news for Alberta and how this will be good news for Canada. And when it's all said and done, if that makes any difference, and how it'll be good news for people that have been out of work for so long and being that. Are things going to get better for me? Well, Lisa, that's a really good question. Are you tired of things struggling? That's the question you should be asking yourself. How do I break free from being a support for everyone else and actually move forward with my life plan? And how do I realize what that actually is? I know I'm meant for more. I just don't know where to go. So, sort of, and I'm just going to pop this up here so you can all see it. So, Tammy, honey, I got to tell you, if everybody seems to be drawn to you to get you to take care of them, and it's not even just as everybody seemed drawn to you to get you to take care of them. I think that you naturally just start to take care of everybody. And I'm going to say that that's probably because deep down in your soul, you're a healer and a helper. And because you're not doing that in your career, you're doing it in your personal life, which is freaking exhausting. So maybe it's time for you to take a look at that, my beautiful girl. Helen, I get awesome parking, but that's about it. You got to ask yourself why you get awesome parking, sweetheart. You believe that it will be awesome parking, which is why you get it. Let's see what else I got here. My anxiety and struggling eating still, it's bugging me. So Kayla, change the conversation that you're having in your head, because right now you're focusing on the fact that this is a problem. And you need to change that conversation, sweetheart. So you change the conversation and you start talking about the things that aren't working in your own head, and you talk less about the things that aren't. So start talking about the things that you do love and that you are enjoying and that are working, and start shifting that desire, that need that you have to be happy with your life and to enjoy the life that you have. And you'll notice that things will definitely improve with the eating. I know my angels are watching over me, but I am worried about my grandchildren. So, sweetheart, ask your angels to watch over your grandchildren. Why don't we try that? Well, yes, Helen, of course you have bigger needs. You just haven't convinced yourself that they're actually in need. And just really quickly, Tammy Ling comes back with, thank you. I know I'm a healer and a teacher. I think I need this reset we're going through is the start. It's true, sweetheart, but you got to understand, as long as you keep helping and giving in your personal life, you're not going to need to do it in your career. Okay. And then you're going to, control things and hold on to things and sort of hold yourself back and allow fear to rule you, instead of turning it into, this is what I need to do for a living. Okay, so let's turn it into, this is what I need to do for a living. So you guys, I hope that you guys have had tons of fun with this. I hope that watching me help Wendy was really beneficial to you, and you guys were able to learn things. Again, if you enjoy the stuff that I'm doing here online, please go to my YouTube channel, hit subscribe. Always know when something's coming. Very soon here, I'm going to be teaching a class on tarot cards or cartomancy. I haven't decided which, but I've gotten a huge response on that. So I'm going to be doing that soon. I truly, truly, from my family to yours, I truly hope that you stay safe and you stay well. And please always remember, you guys, if you want something you've never had, you must do something you've never done to achieve it. And please always remember, if I don't get a chance to answer your questions on the side, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's not because you're not important. It's because I only have so many time. And my lovelies, this Canada's Clairvoyant I've hit my wall. So I've got to go throw on some pajamas, crawl into bed, cry myself to sleep after a really full day, because that's just one of the things that I use to heal and get better, and then start teaching again tomorrow. So I love you all so much. Take very good care of yourself, and I look so forward to talking to you again. Bye, guys.